There's 5 people waiting.
5 people. What's up, you guys? I'm so excited for this video here. We've got Becky Park from Becky Park on Poshmark. She's on Instagram. She's on YouTube. You know her. You love her. Becky, how's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited for this video. Let's see. Yeah, like you said, we got 5 people waiting in the chat. A lot
Yeah.
of Josh was the first one that pops up. Of course, he was my last, I was going to say contestant. He was my last guest. Great guy there. We got Ashley. Ashley says she has been subscribed to you for a couple months and just
Hi,
subscribed to my
Ashley.
channel.
Nice. So I'm
Then, of
gonna be
course,
like looking like this too, so I can look at the chat as well.
yeah, that's what I'm doing too. I've got my chat pulled up on a separate thing here. Glock 30 fan. He is one of my most loyal subscribers. He's comments on probably every video I've ever posted. Follows me on Instagram. We've talked on Facebook. Great guy there. Visually impaired Chad. He's a really cool guy. Go check out his channel if you haven't already.
Awesome.
Uh,
Hi.
and then let's go. So we got 10 people going. So guys, if this is your first time watching Reseller Review, it's basically like a talk show-esque YouTube live interview. I wanted to take some time to just find some really cool influencers in the reselling community and see if they'd spend, a couple minutes with me, just getting to know them a little bit more, getting to know them in their business, like how they run their business, and also them personally. And I feel like that's especially cool with content creators because a lot of times with like video editing, like me personally, my edited YouTube videos are like I talked about this in a lot of Josh video. It's like 110% of my personality, but you really get to know someone like better, like an actual person when you do a live video and just, you're just yourself and there's no editing. You can't cut out the ums and the buts and stuff like that. So it's just an interesting play on the whole interview thing. So Becky, I've got a few questions here I want to start off. So you mainly sell on Poshmark for the most part. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I noticed from your Instagram and stuff like that, you've been wanting to switch into eBay and Mercari, and it sounds like you've made a couple sales. How has that transition worked out for you so far?
It is very hard. I feel like Poshmark makes things really simple, especially when it comes to shipping. And so learning how to ship on things like eBay. I mean, Mercari is a little bit easier. I think eBay just has so many options and that makes it harder. But the one kind of cool thing I think about eBay is that you can do more things than just clothing, which I mean, on Poshmark you can too, but I feel like Poshmark right now is definitely more of a place to just kind of sell clothes. They're trying to move into home goods and all that kind of stuff, but like you can buy anything on eBay. So that's kind of cool and interesting to me. And I personally really like clothes and I like selling clothes, but I think it is kind of fun to venture out and find different things too. And especially when you're like garage sailing and you see something that is, a really good price and a really good item, just to be able to pick that up and know that you have a platform to sell it on. But it's been really confusing. Like it has not been like the smoothest, easiest transition. I'm very slow still. I just people have been telling me about the sell similar as on eBay, and before that I was just like starting every listing from scratch, so it would take me forever, and I'm just scared of making mistakes. But no, it's going.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Like eBay can be really intimidating when you first start, especially like I've only listed one item on Poshmark, but it was significantly easier than listing things on eBay. And I know Rally Roots have told people like, if you're wanting to start reselling and you want to start with clothes, just start on Poshmark just because the learning curve is much less steep. And it's just an overall easier platform to deal with, at least from what I hear. So.
Yes. No, that's absolutely true. I agree. And I mean, yeah, and Mercari's not bad. Mercari has up their like shipping, so I think it's made it so that not as many people maybe want to shop there. And then if you want to try and offer free shipping, I mean, it's just cutting so much into your profit. So I have like discovered sites like Pirate Ship and stuff. I'm still learning a lot about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you start on eBay, it's kind of nice because you're starting with like the hardest thing and then everything else is so easy compared to that. But if you just want like a gateway into the reselling world, Poshmark is definitely the easiest way to go, I think. So that would be my suggestion.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So Here's an interesting question for you. I know you've mostly sold clothing. I'm assuming you're getting in a little bit of home goods. But if you could only at this point, if you could only sell one item for the rest of your reselling career, one specific item, what would it be and why?
I don't, maybe shoes. Maybe shoes. I feel like, well, most people, I mean, there are some people who have like hundreds and hundreds of pairs of shoes, but I feel like most people just kind of have like a small number of shoes, but they are like they're ride or die. Like you have to have shoes. You know what I mean? Whereas like shirts and pants and stuff, it's kind of like they're a little bit easier to find. So I feel like shoes for me always sell so quickly and well because they're more of a staple item and people really need them. So if you can find shoes that people want, I mean, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
shoes. I don't.
I agree. Like a lot of Josh posted on his Instagram. I don't know if it was his post or his story this week that he had like a buggy filled with 3 shoes, and he made a point. It was like a lot of people say that the shoe market is saturated on eBay. I'm not sure how it is on Poshmark, but everybody needs shoes. And like I personally just built a 6-tier shelf this weekend in my garage just to house all the shoes I have listed.
Yeah.
I probably have like 50 listed right now, but I sell 6 to 8 pairs a week. And it's when I go to a thrift store, that's the first thing I go to is a shoe aisle because all the Goodwills in my area, they charge $6.50 per pair. They don't care about brands or anything. So occasionally they'll find some Nikes or something and throw them in the glass case for $10. But for the most part, everything's $6.50. And even really basic shoes, as long as they're in decent condition, you could get 20 to $25 for them all day long. In
Yeah.
turn, if you do that, like if somebody wants to get into reselling with $1,000, capital to spend, and they just spend it all on shoes, I mean, they're tripling their money, even just selling at $20 a piece. And I think it's no matter how saturated the market gets, you're always going to be able to get $20 for a good solid pair of Nikes or some New Balance or Adidas. And so, regardless of saturation, I still think shoes are a great product.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're pretty easy. Like you said, they are kind of a pain to store. They take up a lot of space, but it's harder to lose a pair of shoes, I feel like, than it is to lose a shirt or something too, you know? So, I mean, they're a lot easier in a lot of different ways. And like I feel like it's harder to miss flaws on shoes. I feel
Yeah,
like I'm always missing flaws on like everything else. Like I pull it to ship it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's a stain, like, and I have to reach out to the buyer. But like with shoes, it's just so much more obvious. So I like that part of it too.
definitely. So I want
Hmm.
to give a little shout out to some more people in the chat. We got 15 now. BK Vending and Flipping. He's another loyal subscriber of mine. I'm pretty sure he subscribed to you too. He was in that
Huh.
1,000 subscriber video where we got you to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure you subscribed to you then. NASCAR Man 3345. He's a great guy too. He's really knowledgeable when it comes to Hot Wheels and stuff like that. So I know you were at a garage sale this morning. So if you ever find a lot of Hot Wheels and they're cheap, pick them up and send a message to NASCAR Man. He'll help you kind of find the value on those.
No, the
Um,
garage sale I went to this morning was garbage. Like there was
most of
not
them are.
one thing there. So
I see all the like John Cincinnati Picker like every day he goes to garage sales. It feels like, and like I'll pull up yard sale treasure map where I am, and there's like 3 sales, and they're all baby clothes, and I just cannot find a good yard sale.
yeah. I mean, there are more coming up tomorrow and Saturday, so we'll see. But there was just like there were two today, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna go to the one closest to my house. And I've had luck at Thursday garage sales, but oh my gosh, it was really bad. Like I like looked in every nook and cranny just to make sure I wasn't missing anything, but it was just all Walmart and like just
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know.
I find so much like for the amount of time it takes to wake up early on Saturdays and go to garage sales and drive everywhere. I just would just much rather go to 2 or 3 Goodwills, and I would pretty much guaranteed to find at least triple the amount of things,
Yeah.
and for maybe a little bit more per item than I would pay at a yard sale. But I had one Saturday when I went to like 7 garage sales and bought nothing. And I'm like, man, this just sucks. Like, what is wrong with these people? They're just selling garbage.
Hmm. Yeah. No, so it's a risk because it takes up a lot of time, it takes up a lot of gas, but man, when they're good, it's so good, especially when people price with garage sale pricing in mind, it's you can get some good scores even here in the middle of nowhere. So I've had some really good stuff, but this morning was not one of those days, but that's okay.
Yeah, I did have one yard sale like 2 months ago I went to, and it was like a husband and wife who were doing like an adoption fundraiser. and they were selling things that were donated to them by people. So people were like, here, you can sell this at your garage sale and raise money. So they didn't care about price. They were really, really nice people because they were adopting a baby. Most people that adopt kids are really nice people. Um, and so, I mean, the prices were great. Like I had a huge pile going, and of course, I wasn't going to make them. In my head, I was like, I'm willing to pay like $50 for this stuff. And I asked him what they were going to take, and he's like, I don't know, like $20. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll give you $20.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've made almost I just sold another item yesterday from that lot, and I've made over $200 just from that stuff I've got there, and I still have like 10 things.
That's
So that was
awesome.
definitely the best yard sale I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Um, so let's see. Oh, Uniquely Me is in the chat. Tracy, she's got a really great channel as well. Um, so
hello.
yeah, if you guys don't know Becky, if I'm pretty sure Tracy was in the 1,000 subscriber live video too, and she subscribed to you then. The Becky's channel has just blown up lately. She like we were both around the same. We hit 1,000 subscribers at the same day. I think you're over 2,000, almost at 3,000 now or something.
Yeah, I think I'm at like I'm almost at 3,100, which is
It's
insane.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy how fast this stuff can take off. Like I know people that have
Yeah.
had channels for 2 or 3 years and they have 500 subscribers, and then all of a sudden it just takes off.
Yeah.
So it's a fun ride, I imagine.
It is. It's been really rewarding. It's been really humbling. It's still really weird to me that that many people would like invite me into their homes or onto their phones, But yeah, I'm just really thankful. I don't know.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely a weird feeling, like because I like starting a YouTube channel. I started my channel before I was a reseller, and I didn't have any expectation at all for it. It's just something I've wanted to do. So like getting to where I am now, and and you're in the same boat, and a lot of Josh and Cincinnati Picker and everything. Um, just having that many people care about you, and like, of course, I get some mean comments every once in a while, but by and far the most part, everybody's super nice and supportive, which was not what I expected going into this. Like once I got some momentum, I was buckling down, ready for the hate comments, but they're far and few between these days, and it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially when you're not as big yet and someone like me, like I don't really know what I'm doing yet, especially when it comes to eBay and Mercari and whatnot. But even with Poshmark, just reselling in general, I'm still definitely somewhat of a noob. I mean, I've been doing it for, I guess, around a year and a half now, but I haven't been able to devote as much time to it as a lot of other people have. But I feel like people are always rooting for the underdog. I feel like it's when you get really big and when you start like making crazy sales, that's when everyone wants to hate on you. So I guess we just can't like ever get that big, like we
Yeah.
just have to like keep our sales at a minimum, or I don't know. But yeah, I think YouTube has been very different than what I thought it was going to be too. And like you said, I do get, random comments here and there that I'm just like, but why? Like, why did you have to take the time out of your day to write that? Like, what were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? But overall, like, if you just choose to focus on the positive and you choose to focus on the good in people and the fact that they're taking the time out of their day to watch you and write nice things about you or to you, I mean, it's been wonderful, and I've met some really cool people through it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird with like my YouTube friends because I feel really close to them because I watch all their videos all the time, but I've never met any of you in person. Live video like this is about as close as it gets. But being a full time employee at my job and a part time reseller and then a YouTuber, I mean, I spend most of my free time talking to my YouTube friends. So it's definitely cool to make those connections, and it's almost like I remember when I was in high school and like online video gaming first came out, sort of, and then it was weird like playing video games with these strangers on the internet. But like my online Xbox friends were like some of my best friends. Like I hung out with them pretty much every day, and it's cool that you can develop like emotional human relationships with people that you've never met, and YouTube's a great platform for that.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I've actually had the privilege of meeting some people that I met through YouTube, like in person. Like one of my subscribers, she contacted me and was like, I'm going to be in your area. And so we went out and got coffee. And that's kind of surreal too. Like my husband was like, wait, who are you going to get coffee with? And I was like, someone I met online. And he was like, is that safe? And I was like, I think it'll be fine. Like, we're going to be in a public place. Like, I get it. Like, there's definitely a risk factor there. But I mean, it is. It's really cool that technology and the internet and YouTube and all that kind of stuff has allowed us to, if there aren't like minded people around you, that's no excuse. Like, you can find them, anywhere in the world, really, with YouTube and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really exciting getting to meet some people. Yeah.
Definitely. So another thing I want to mention to you guys watching, Becky and I are going to be working on a collaboration series, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Becky, being a mainly Poshmark seller, she's going to try to move on over to eBay a little bit. And I might try to dabble in Poshmark, but the problem is that neither of us know what we're doing really yet. So we're going to make some videos here over the next few weeks, months or so. However, we haven't really talked about how long the series is going to be. But it's just going to be a video on my channel about me learning how to Poshmark from Becky, and then a video on her channel about her learning how to eBay for me. Neither of us are claiming to be experts, but we're just trying to help each other out the best we can. And because really, regardless of how you feel about each platform, just it's statistical fact that when you cross post to different platforms, you're going to increase your chances of sales. So I have a lot of clothing. This whole closet back here is literally filled to the brim with winter coats. And I would love to cross post those to Poshmark and maybe Mercari. We'll talk about that. But be sure to keep an eye out for that. I'm pretty sure most of you guys in the chat are subscribed to my channel and Becky's already. But if you're not, be sure to do that. I dropped her channel link in the description. So just click that and be sure to subscribe. And we're going to be posting the first video hopefully next week. We're definitely going to film it before next week. I'm going out of town on a mission trip to Honduras next Thursday. I think Becky, is hip hop camp next week?
Yeah.
I'm very jealous. I told her to sign me up for hip hop camp next year.
Yeah.
So
I'm so excited about it.
So what is that like? What it sounds like? Is that like a camp for kids where you do like dancing and stuff?
Yeah. So I live basically right near the U of I campus town, or just U of I campus. And my school that I teach at, I'm a high school choir teacher, in case you didn't know. But my school is literally like a few blocks away from the college, from the University of Illinois. And so I get a lot of students from the university who are studying to become music teachers over to my school. And I'm really close with a lot of the professors at the university because I just finished up my second master's degree in music education last summer. So I was like taking classes over the summers, and then I just developed some really close relationships with some really cool people. And one of my professors, he is like super into hip hop. He creates beats himself. He like dabbles in rapping here and there, but he's got really cool contacts all over the country. And so there's been this long standing tradition of music camps at this college anyway, but then they're starting to add kind of more like relevant camps too. So the hip hop camp started maybe a few years ago, and I've had students go and actually, like, if you've ever watched any of my videos, I always start with a song that one of my students wrote and produced. And like, she went to this hip hop camp and she's now studying to be a music producer. So it's a really cool camp. They do some really cool things. The kids are ridiculously talented. And then at the end of the week, they have this big performance at this really cool venue. And so I just am there to kind of like hang out and mentor the kids and just help out in any way that I can.
Awesome. You've definitely got a great personality for a teacher. Like my high school chorus teacher she was nice, but I'm like, man, imagine having a high school chorus teacher like Becky. Like that would just be such a fun class, I feel like.
You.
So
Were
you
you
said
in choir?
I was in so we had like choir that was like mandatory, so it was terrible. And then we had like the elective group called the Red Hot Singers, which was like a after school thing where we wore tuxedos. And so I was in that. I didn't really want to do it, but I was kind of almost guilted into it, I guess, like by my teacher. She was like, we need more guys. And there was only like two other guys in the group. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do it. But it was fun. We were not good at all, but it was fun.
Yeah, because you sing too. So I thought maybe you did, all the choir stuff and musicals and all that.
I did. I enjoyed musicals way more than choir. Like I did South Pacific in high school. We did Cheaper by the Dozen. And we were going to do Guys and Dolls, but it got canceled. We had one of our leads got sick, and I lived in a really small town, so we didn't have any understudies. It was just fly by the seat of our pants. So that one got pulled. But I miss it. It just takes so much time. Like we practice like 4 days a week, like 3 hours a night. And it's just, doing eBay and YouTube and a full-time employee. I just can't get into that right now.
Yep. Yeah. But
But
maybe one day.
maybe. Have you ever done a musical?
I only did them in high school and now I just direct. Like I'm the vocal director for them at school. But it's not kind of the same as you. Like one of my favorite shows is The Last 5 Years by Jason Robert Brown. And there's a local theater in town doing that show this summer. And I really was like this close to auditioning, but I was like, no, what am I doing? Like, and the show has two people in the cast. It's one guy and one girl. I wouldn't have gotten cast anyway, but I was also just like, oh, but what if I did? And then I actually saw the director, she messaged me on Facebook to ask if I would be the music director for the show, which I would have loved to do, but I didn't see it for like a week. And then, because I'm not friends with her on Facebook. So by that time, she had found someone else. But really, I think that's how it was supposed to turn out, because otherwise, I'd be really tied up there and I wouldn't be able to learn about eBay and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. So we got to keep our priorities straight here.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and that's tough because like, I started doing eBay. When I started my YouTube channel and I was just really doing it for fun, so it didn't really take up any time. Then I started doing eBay and I was like, hey, maybe I started watching Rally Roots. I was like, hey, maybe I could do this. All they're doing is filming their thrift trip stuff and talking about eBay. And I was like, if I can add, I actually didn't even think about making money with YouTube. I was like, I should just do this because it's cool. And I started doing that. And now like occasionally I'll play some video games for free for my free time. But for the most part, like eBay and YouTube take up 95% of my free time. I just don't really have time for much else. Do you have any other hobbies outside of your Poshmark and reselling business? I know it's summertime. You're off now because you're a teacher, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, all my hobbies have died. Like I had
All of
some,
them.
they, like, I used to garden. Like I have gardening beds in our backyard that now they just grow weeds that are taller than me. Like it's horrible. It's so bad. And my husband every day is just like, why? Like, why do you start so many new projects and you just, so I know what you mean. Like it just takes up so much time. Like I used to do things like read, and I used to I like to play video games too. Like I used to have all these different interests and stuff, and I
And here
just feel
comes
like,
reselling. And it's just like people, I think it's harder to be a part-time reseller than it is to be a full-time reseller.
mhm.
Like I think Josh and I were talking about this in our reseller review video. Like I'm so jealous of like Lonnie and John, those full-time resellers, because they have time to like do their YouTube videos like just in the morning. Like when I'm at work slaving away over my computer, they're just like drinking coffee and filming with their GoPros, and then they post videos and then they do reselling for the rest of the day. I'm like, that seems easy. Like I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but I feel like being a part-time reseller where you have to worry about your job because you want to put I want to put time and effort into my part-time business just because I want that to grow, but I also don't want to sacrifice my performance at my regular job. So it's like a constant balance between that. And then I'm active in church, but very regularly. I think I've heard you talk about you're active in your church as well. So that's just another thing that we have to juggle. And I think just being a full-time reseller, that being the only thing you have to worry about outside of your family, would make it almost easier. Maybe more worrisome financially, but
Mhm.
easier as far as less stress in your life.
Yeah. No, and even like you said, I am a teacher, so I am, I'm not working or doing anything this summer. And I've been saying in my videos that I'm a full-time reseller for the summer. I'm not putting in full-time hours though. I feel like when you are actually at home, you find all these other things that really need your attention too. And I feel like as teachers, like, because my husband's a teacher too, so I feel like we've put so much off until the summer and we're like, we'll tackle it in the summer. So we've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff rather than really being able to invest as much time as I want in my reselling business. But it's been okay. It's like I want to make sure that there's a good balance. I want to make sure too that I don't seem so like absent minded or like not focused on my kids when I'm spending time with them. So that's hard because it's like you have so little free time as it is. And then when you're spending time with your kids, like they always want to do stuff that you're like, okay, yeah, let's play that again. Or, yeah, let's read that book again. It's like
Again.
yeah, it's always the same thing over and over again. So it can be hard, but just keeping things in perspective and trying to remember too, like what really matters. It's hard to do though, because literally, like when I'm reading Duck Goes Potty or whatever for the eighth time, I'm like, but I could have listed like four things,
Yeah.
like it's it's so selfish of me, but that's, I mean, the honest, like what's going on in my brain sometimes.
Yeah. Now that I've started to like batch my photography so I can list just in my little squirts of free time here and there. And I think it's making me more efficient, but I feel like I'm spending more mental energy on my reselling business because I'm constantly like, oh, I'm at work and I have like a 15-minute break in the morning, 15-minute break in the afternoon. And instead of like actually breaking, I usually just go to the bathroom and like list frantically. Um, and I
Yeah.
do that at home too. Like at night, like before bed, I'm listing or, deleting old lists and relisting. And like I'm making better use of my time, but it's like I'm constantly focused on my reselling business every chance I get. Whereas before it was like turn it on and off. Like, okay, from 4 to 7 on Saturday, I'm going to do reselling, and then that's it. So I don't know which is best. Everybody does their own version of their reselling business, and not one's not better than the other. But um, I don't know which is best for me yet. I'm just still trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel you on that.
Um, so anyway, let's end the reselling part with this. What's one piece of advice if someone wants to get into reselling and they have no idea where to start? They've just found one of your videos and they call you and they're like, Becky, tell me what to do. How can I get into reselling? What is one thing that I need to do to ensure success in my personal reselling business?
Yeah, I think my best piece of advice would be to just start with what you have in your own house. Like, I think I heard you say, I don't remember if it was with your reseller review with a lot of Josh. It might have been from there, but you were saying that you started your reselling business with $100. And I don't even know that you need $100. Like, I think you could literally start with the stuff that you have in your house, because chances are you've got stuff laying around that is like pretty good stuff. You just don't have a use for it anymore, or you've upgraded from one thing to the other. Because then you don't have any money tied up into anything, and you can really take your time to learn a platform really well. And I guess kind of tied into that, a second piece of advice would be focus on what one platform first. Like, I know, like right now we're talking about like, okay, now I'm going to start learning all these other platforms and whatever. And I don't want people to feel like, okay, so when I first start, like I need to cross list this onto all three things. Like, no, you should try to learn one platform inside out first. And I saw someone in the chat say too, like, I'm kind of nervous about venturing into a new platform because I feel like I'm still figuring out eBay. Yeah, like I'd say focus on eBay until you feel like you could, successfully teach someone else how to do it really well too. But yeah, just, start like humbly. It's like there's no shame in just listing like some old Navy cargo shorts and
Yeah.
like an unopened bag of socks you have at home. Like, people actually want that stuff. It's crazy. And if you make some mistakes, if you ship something the wrong way, it's not something that you paid any money for, so it's not going to hurt as bad. But I think that would be my first piece of advice. Just start slow, start steady, and just take your time to grow. Do it right.
That's excellent. That's better than anything I would have said. Um,
Oh,
it's and like when I did start my business with roughly $100, but I had that video where I turned $1, did the $1 thrift challenge. I spent $1 at the bins on half off day, and I turned that into like I think it was like $115.
that was
Um,
amazing. I watched that and I was so
it
jealous.
it was very unlikely, but it was awesome. And Cincinnati Picker commented on that one. He's like, it's great for this video to show like you can actually start a real business. Like if you put enough time and energy into reselling, it can be your job. You can feed a family with this, and there's no other business like it in the world that you could start a real you know family supportive business with $1 or less. If you're selling stuff around your house. Um, and I think I'm gonna make a whole video about this, but I was at the gas station today and I saw this lady and she had like 5 of those $10 scratch off tickets. And I don't want to judge people, but she looked like she, was living in some sort of poverty. And I'm like, she probably just spent her last $50 or some of her last money on these lottery tickets, just frantically scratching. And I think she probably won like $10 because she got another ticket. And I just hate seeing people like that because I'm like, if you just took this $50 to the thrift store it's just as fun. Like you get that adrenaline hit, like when you find like stuff you can sell. It's just like playing the lottery. It's like gambling, but there's no risk. Like you buy a pair of shoes for 650 that you think you're going to sell for 50, and then you get bummed because you can only sell them for 20. Oh man, I only tripled my money instead of 15 timesing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I just want to. I think I'm going to get into that in a different video, but I just wish I wish more people resold and realized the value that it could bring to you as financially. It
Yeah.
just gives you independence and lets you, you're kind of in there and you have to learn everything for yourself pretty much. So that's why you got to get into YouTube and join Facebook groups. And it's a really good business to start. You have to teach yourself all these ways the business works, and you get to learn some hard lessons, but it's not going to cost you that much money because when you're reselling, you're not really dealing with a lot of financial risk if you're not buying wholesale or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
So
like it.
it's been fun too because I don't talk about reselling when I teach, but like a lot of my students follow me on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So a lot of them found out that I was doing it. Like they were so funny. When I started my YouTube channel, they would like walk into class and be like, "Everyone subscribe to Park's channel. Like she's gonna blow up." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing." But like
You got to
and
embrace
so
it.
yeah, it was, oh my gosh, they're so funny. Like they are my biggest fans and I love them for it. Like one time this girl was on her phone during rehearsal and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she like turned her phone around. She's like, "I'm watching you." And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't even get mad at you. Like you're giving me
Yeah.
watch time,
Be sure to give
But
it a thumbs up.
I know, like it was, yeah. But I have a couple students working for me now. Like I have one student who does some photography and steaming of clothes, and then one student who shares my closet for Poshmark. And like I reached out to their parents first to ask them if it was okay. And one of the moms was like, "I'm really excited for my daughter to learn more about like entrepreneurial skills, from you." And like one of my students has started reselling on Poshmark, and so it's kind of interesting. Like I make it a point not to talk about it while I'm teaching because I
Mhm.
don't want to mix those two worlds. But they find out about it, and it is really cool to see them finding a way to like make money and to feel like I'm giving them tools to learn how to provide for themselves in some shape or form. So if whatever doesn't work out, like maybe they'll at least have that. So I don't know. It's like one of those things that you don't need a degree, you don't need anything to do it. You just need like to spend some time researching what sells and then you just go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially with kids, like there's a bunch. My wife and I do stuff with our youth group at church, and I've got like three of those guys that are starting to sell on eBay now, and
Mm-hmm.
they all have like minimum wage jobs. I'm like, dude, like you're spending 6 hours a week working at some grocery store or whatever. You spend 6 hours a week doing reselling, like you're gonna make way more money.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of took them a while to trust that. And they've made a couple sales. I've been like, they'll call me when they're at the thrift store, like, "Hey man, is this Wii Fit board? Should I get that?" I'm like, "No, you should get a Wii Fit board." But they're getting into it, and I just love like seeing them succeed and seeing them realize that there's better ways to make money than working minimum wage.
Yes, definitely. I've been ignoring this chat, I realized,
I
but
know, me too. I saw part-time pickers in here earlier. Matt, that's the first. I
yeah.
think it was the first time I saw him in one of my chats. So I appreciate that. He might be on a guest on one of the reseller reviews coming up. We've got to
Okay.
work on that. And then Rally Roots is still scheduled. Well, not scheduled, but they're still going to do it. We're just struggling working with our schedules a little bit. Um,
That's a good
Pick and
one.
roll. Yeah, pick and roll is going to be on as well. Landshark Pick here. What's up, man? Yeah, a couple of new people in the chat. Studio 22 Green. I don't think I recognize that name. So thanks for checking us out. Um, so I'm going to wrap up the video. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but we're going to do some quick fun questions here. Becky, what is your favorite band?
No doubt.
No Doubt. That's a good choice. Okay. What's
Yeah.
your favorite song from No Doubt?
Oh, jeez. Mm, maybe Sunday morning or oh my gosh, this is too hard. There's too many good ones.
Too
It is
hard.
like old, no doubt, right? Like that, like Tragic Kingdom stuff is the good stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. No doubt. If you were an article of clothing, what would you be and why?
I think I would be a bra because I'm supportive and I, I'm supportive, and I make other people look good. Like you don't see me behind the scenes,
That is
maybe.
the best answer I could have ever imagined. That and great reasons, like a fun answer and two really good reasons.
There you have
That's a
it.
great answer. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
What were you like in high school?
Oh my gosh, I was a bad kid. Like I was bad. I
You like a
skipped
drug
school.
dealer?
No, I dated a lot of druggies. Like I dated a lot. I had that like savior complex, and I was like, oh, like yeah, I was one of those, and I skipped so much school. I was not the Asian stereotype. Like I played that card. I played the like I'm Asian, so I must be really good card, but I was not like. I don't know. And I'm fairly certain I have like ADD or something, but my mom would never let me get tested. So I don't know. I struggled. I struggled because so much of what I was learning, I was like, when am I ever going to use this? Like, if
Yeah.
you can tell me when this will come in handy, I will pay attention to you. But yeah, I was bad. But I was also like a choir nerd. Like, choir was my life. My senior year, I think I was in like three of the choir classes. My choir teacher was like my second father. Like, I'm still so close with him to this day. So, but high school was fun. Like, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
That, like what were you saying about how you felt like the information you were learning was just useless? And I see all these like really young entrepreneurs, like 15, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids that are making, $60,000 a year reselling, and they have to stop their reselling business to go learn about photosynthesis. And I'm just like, it's so dumb. Like
It's so
if
dumb.
if I have like if I have a kid who's 14 years old making more money than me, I'm like, yeah, dude, you can do online school, whatever, just graduate high school at least, and then we're going full in on this reselling business. Like
Yeah.
these parents, you know, some parents like see their kids making this money and they like just doubt it, like they think they're doing something illegal or whatever, and they just don't want to support them. They're like, you just need to quit this and just go to college and get a real job. And I just wish parents weren't like that. It's just really frustrating.
It is, yeah. Just a lot of things right now in schools are backwards, and I can say that with full confidence. Being in the schools every day as a teacher, like there are a lot of things. So I love what I teach because kids choose to do it, and because through it I can teach a lot of these other skills that people actually need. Like I tell them all the time, I'm like, I don't really care if you leave high school knowing how to sing your scales. Like that's not what's important. Like I don't think that you know I'm trying to think of like who's a popular singer right now. I should know because I'm a music teacher, but I don't really listen to the radio anymore. But
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of those people are like making sure that they know their natural minor versus their melodic minor scale. Like that's not what defines you as a good musician, but that's what like institutionalized like colleges and whatever. Like that's what they make music out to be. Like you must
Yeah.
be able to do X, Y, and Z, and it's like no, like yeah. So
I love the movie August Rush, and I think like when you were talking about all that stuff, all I was thinking about was the movie August Rush. I'm assuming
yeah,
you've seen that.
the guitar one, right? Like that little boy. He plays
Yeah,
the
he has like I don't know if he has autism or well, he's basically a savant.
hmm
Both of his parents were like really talented musicians. His mom was like an opera singer, and his dad was like a rock star. And she got pregnant, and she was part of an up and coming family, so they made her give the baby up for adoption. And he was in this orphanage, but he like just has this natural musical ability. It's a fantastic movie. Everybody in the chat, all 13 of you jokers, y'all need to go tonight and watch August Rush. That is a great movie.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about the whole institutionalized, educational part of music, which
Yeah.
just it helps to an extent, but you also have to have that natural kind of feeling and understanding of it as well.
hmm
Um, okay, and we'll end with this one. Last question of the night. Watchers, as you know, obviously, I'm a fan of The Office. Dunder Mifflin represent. Becky, I'm gonna ask you an office trivia question. I heard this trivia question today actually, and I'm gonna ask you two questions. Both of these
Okay.
are very difficult. Uh,
Okay.
Becky, you also claim to be an office fanatic, so this will be a true test of your office knowledge. Are you ready for these questions?
Oh, I'm nervous, but I'm ready.
Okay, first question. Do you remember Nellie, right? The redheaded girl,
Yes.
British. What was Nellie's ex-boyfriend's job?
Magician.
That's good. I'm surprised you got that one. I knew
Yep.
it, but that one almost stumped me. That's a good. What was? Here's a one. I don't even know. What was his name?
I don't know his name.
I don't either. I remember his name was like different than the box of photos. Nelly was like, "Oh, you found my Jonathan." That's what I call my box of pictures of
Yeah.
Greg or whatever. It's
Yeah.
two different names.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
shoot.
and the other
Do you
question,
know?
this was even harder.
Okay. Okay.
What is Toby's daughter's name?
Sasha?
Yes, you. I'm so surprised you got that. I could not think of that at all. Man.
I go through a rotation of shows. I fall
Mhm.
asleep to shows. Otherwise, I fall asleep like thinking about all the things I have to do. So I fall asleep to like other people's problems, aka like The Office, Friends, whatever. So my rotation is The Office, Friends, Parks and Rec. And it used to be 30 Rock, but they pulled that from Netflix. And they're gonna pull The Office soon, as you know, too. But yeah, so man, that's what I fall asleep to. It's like ingrained in me.
Those are like my four favorite shows. We're literally the same person.
We are. We are. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, Becky, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me tonight. I feel like I got to know you a little bit better, and hopefully the watchers did too. You guys, if you haven't already, go to subscribe to her channel. Again, the link is in the description. She is blowing up. She's going to be, top YouTube creator one day, and you're going to be able to say that you subscribe to her. You were in the first 4,000 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe to her if you haven't. Becky, again, thank you so much for doing this. I had fun. I hope you did too. And
Good.
guys, any last closing comments from you, Becky?
No, just
No.
I can't think of anything creative. I'm like, sorry, I should have done like the do not disturb on my phone because I see people sending me offers, and I'm like, I don't want to take your offers. You need to accept mine. But no, I don't know. Just like keep having fun with it. If you get to the point where you're just feeling like it's become a job, like you're doing something wrong, like you just have a good time with it. If it becomes too much, scale back a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Just have fun with it and just make money. It's not. I feel like comparison. I don't feel like it is a quote. Comparison is the thief of joy.
mm-hmm.
So do your reselling business whatever way brings you joy and makes money. And if you're happy with the amount of money you're making, keep doing it. Don't let anybody tell you you're not making enough money. Don't let anybody tell you you're not selling the right things. Just keep on trucking. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already either. And I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks.